this is the raw DNA from the hedges. So we cut that off the hedges, and then once it's dried out, we grind it up, so that it becomes really fine.
Powder, like,
so it's like a powder that allows the powder to go into the ink, so that we can get the DNA. Every layer's got the ink inside it. So we got the DNA from all the tracks and all the artworks. So here we'll go down. You'll see it'll be a blue and then a black goes on. Then you'll see the.
It'll be a blue and then a black,
which creates that.
Okay.
Looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, kind of all looks like it was a long time ago. That's the only thing.
And Champion Jockey 𝘽𝙀𝙃 is going to take the big race. Mr. Mulligan wins it.
It was 1997. I was 23. I'd won the Champion Hurl on the Tuesday of Cheltenham. It was a 3-day festival then. To win the Champion Hurl and then to win the Gold Cup 3 days later, having only ridden in it once the year before, I kind of thought this was going to be easy. I thought I was going to just win Gold Cups pretty much throughout my career, so it didn't quite work out like that. I mean, the Gold Cup is kind of the pinnacle in terms of horses. That's the one that you really want to win. That's the Champions League, or a major if you like. That's the biggest one. I was very lucky. I worked with and for very successful people. But there's a lot of people that you need to have around you to make that happen, whether it be owners, trainers, stable staff, the valets who make you tea and they look after you, and you can't do it on your own, but you need to have good horses as well, which obviously helps. And I had, thankfully, pretty much better than most people.
Champion jockey for the 20th consecutive season.
Richard Dunwoody, who was my hero, had won 3 Jockey Championships. John Frankham had won 7, Peter 𝘽𝙀𝙃 won 8. Then when you do that, you're beating yourself. But I always felt like if I could beat myself, then no one else would beat me. You know, and 20 was always going to be the number. I just, when I'd won sort of 15 Jockeys Championships, you know, the next 5 years, I suppose, were probably the most enjoyable in my career, because even though no one else knew I was retiring, I knew I was retiring. And the 15 years, I was chasing myself all the time. And the last 5 years, I tried to take it all in as best I could. There we go. Win 20 consecutive Jockeys Championships. I don't think even Sir Gordon Richards didn't even do that, so kind of hoping I'll be long gone if someone ever beats that. I think in sport you need to have a level of ability to achieve, but you need to have a work ethic and you need to have discipline. And a lot of your life you're never really content because you never get what you want, and that's everything. But I think if you want to be successful in sport, you have to believe that you're going to get everything, and you have to believe that you want everything and that you should get everything. So success, you want that success only lasts for a little period of time, and then you want more. You always want more.
After 3, 1, 2, 3.
Very nice. I was very good at convincing myself before the Grand National every Saturday that morning that I was going to win the Grand National. And when I left Aintree for those 14 years, I used to think, you know what, better jockeys than me never won the Grand National. So, you know, likes of John Frankham and Peter 𝘽𝙀𝙃 and John Joe O'Neill, multiple champion jockeys, never won the Grand National.
1, 2, 3. That's it.
And then there was other people who I didn't think were as good as me that did win it, so maybe I just wasn't lucky. But thankfully in 2010 my luck kind of changed, if you like, thanks to Don't Push It. And as I said, it's not that you don't feel like it's ever going to happen, because I was stupid enough to believe that it always was going to happen. I just wish it hadn't taken so long.
First all round, 𝘽𝙀𝙃 McCoy, Don't Push It won the national.
I've broken my ankle, my leg, my arm, my wrists, my lower back, pretty much all my ribs, my sternum, my shoulder blades, my collarbones, my cheekbones. I've got 2 plates, 4 screws either side of my T9 to T12 vertebrae. So, you know, as James Hunt says, the closer you are to death, the more alive you feel. So there's something about living on the edge that makes you feel alive.
He's done it! What a sportsman! What a jockey! What a hero!
It's a good number. I remember breaking Richard Dunwoody's record for the most winners by a jump jockey, maybe around 2002 as well, and it was 1,699, you know. So, and Richard Dunwoody was kind of my hero when I went into the weight room. I thought he was the god, he was the one that you judged yourself by.
Okay. So that's the first one.
That's not too bad. I think I could do this.
Good one.
I think I could be an artist. But you need a lot of luck. I was very lucky. I worked for very successful people, I think went at a period of time, I think, when racing was at its best, really. I always looked at records and thought they'd always get broken, but I'm hoping I'll be dead when that one's broken. It's not a nice thing to end the conversation with, but it's the truth.
Tony McCoy, he's done it! What a hero!
Sir Gordon Richard, he's the most winning jockey of all time. He's the most successful jockey of all time. He had ridden the most winners of anyone in a season, and his record was there for 55 years. So to beat his record in 2001, 2002, I think will always be my greatest achievement. To ride in a season 289 winners, and actually in the calendar year of 2002, I rode 307 winners, which is the most of any jockey in Europe, flat or jumps. So that's kind of like, that's the one. That is it. That's complete. That is pretty much. It's nice to have a little bit of DNA in all the prints, because there was many times when I landed in the chair a few times. The grass from Cheltenham, I shouldn't think there's anyone rolled around on it more or got trampled into the grass more than me. The little bits of DNA, the fact that they're in all those pictures, I think it just adds to the fact that I end up with pretty much the DNA imprinted into me. It's nice that it's imprinted into painting now as well, or into artwork like this.